among the tough questions of the paper. Firstly, because it's from PNC, and secondly, that PNC questions are always difficult to identify कि exactly इसमें करना क्या है. So you have a number of ways of distributing 15 identical balloons, 6 identical pencils, and 3 identical erasers among 3 children, such that each child gets at least 4 balloons and 1 pencil. So I have to consider these individually. Let me take 3 children first, C1 plus C2 plus C3, and let me target the balloons, 15 identical balloons, so equal to, let's give them 4 each first. 4 4 4 they do. I have to ensure that they get 4 each. So 12 balloons have now been distributed out of 15, and let me give a pencil also. Balloons are done. 1 1 1 pencil also. And now let's talk about the balloons first. So out of 15, if 12 are gone, I have to distribute 3 further balloons, and any child may get 0 or more out of these 3, right? Because 4 each I have already given. Out of these 3, 0 or more. So this is the classic case of distributing n identical items among r different groups, such that each group or person gets 0 or more items. The direct formula to calculate this is given as n plus r minus 1 c r minus 1 way. So you have to directly apply this formula, right? This is for non-negative integral solutions, and it's an existing concept. So for 3 I will do it. 3 plus n is 3, n is 3, r is 3. So 3 plus 3 minus 1, c3 minus 1 becomes 5c2. And that's the story of the balloons. Then you have 6 pencils, out of which 3 have been distributed already. So 3 more pencils have to be taken care of. And same calculation, exact same calculation for pencils for 3 again becomes 5c2. So you multiply this by 5c2 because balloons are different, pencils are different. They have nothing to do with each other. And then you have the identical erasers. So pencils are gone. Identical erasers, each child may get 0 or more. Right? So again, same thing into, so 3 plus 3 minus 1, c3 minus 1 becomes 5c2. So 10 into 10 into 10, 1000 becomes the right answer for this question. And in an exam, under pressure, would have been very difficult to crack this one. This is a standard log question using the properties of log, and it is definitely worth doing in the exam. So you write down your question and take 2 on the RHS. This becomes equal to 2. And now continuously I am going to remove the log. For that, let me show you the property in question. If I have log a base b, which is equal to c, then there's a property to allow for the removal of this log, which is that the argument a becomes equal to the base b to the power the RHS c. A is equal to b power c. So this is what I'm going to use now. I'll remove this log, and the RHS will become the base. As you saw, the base was 2, so the RHS will become 2 power 2. Okay? Then take this 3 to the RHS and subtract 3. 4 minus 3 will become 1. Okay? Now again I'm going to remove this log, and the base is 3, so it becomes base to the power RHS. Remove the log, it becomes 3 power 1. Okay? And 3 minus 4 will become minus 1. And again remove the log, argument x minus 1 becomes equal to base 4 to the power minus 1, which is 1 by 4. X minus 1 is 1 by 4. X becomes 5 by 4. So 4x becomes 5. 5 is the right answer for this elementary logs question. Algebra question, and depends whether आपको strike होता कि नहीं, what to do in the exam for this, because you have so many complex variables over here. So you have 2 pairs of equations. You have to find x minus y. Just add these 2 equations, right? When you add, you get x square plus y square. And then you get your minus xy is minus 2xy. And then minus x plus y, where I'll take a minus common, becomes x minus y. Take it, add them up, 34 plus 22, which becomes 56. Now this original one becomes x minus y whole square. Minus x minus y is 56. Take x minus y common, and you get x minus y minus 1 is 56. Now look at this, x minus y into x minus y minus 1. What is this? It's a number into number minus 1. Number into number minus 1 is 56. How can I write 56 in this way? I can write it as number into number minus 1, 8 into 7. So x minus y is 8. Just not based on pure solving, but thoda sa just little bit tricky. So x minus y 8 is the right answer for question number 3. This is a question from averages under the topic of replacement by dilution, where you have a mixture and you keep replacing a portion of it. And from this mixture, you keep replacing 9 liters. Okay? From a container, 9 liters is drawn and replaced, 9 liters is drawn and replaced with water. So the main fluid is milk, the diluting fluid is of course water. If the volumes of milk and water are now in the ratio 16:9. Formula lagayenge. I just read through the question. Formula that can be used over here is similar to sort of compound interest. The final volume of the main fluid will be equal to the initial volume of the main fluid into 1 minus the volume that you are replacing divided by the total volume inside the solution to the power the number of dilutions. So what are the volumes that I have? Final volume of the main fluid, milk, 16:9 becomes 16K. And what is the initial volume of milk inside the fluid? That will be all of it, 16 plus 9, 25K, because originally the container was filled 100% with milk. 25K, 1 minus, what is the volume that you are replacing? 9. Volume total you have to find out, capacity of the container. You are doing this process twice. The replacement has happened twice, whole square. K gets cancelled. I am going to take square root on both the sides. And then 4 and 5 will come down, cross multiply. 4 by 5 is 1 minus 9 upon Vt, and calculate Vt. 1 minus 4 by 5 is 1 by 5, and 5 into 9 becomes 45. Vt is 45 is the right answer for question number 4. Straightforward question. It's a nice question for an exam and little difficult, although the solving is very easy. Two trains were moving in opposite directions, their speeds in the ratio 5:3. The front end of A crossed the rear end of B 46 seconds after the front ends of the trains had crossed each other. So let me make the case where you have two trains, A and B, let their lengths be small a and small b. At this point, their front ends are crossing each other. Okay? Now the front end of A crossed the rear end of B. So let me take the front end of A to the rear end of B. Front end of A, dekho. Watch what is the distance that this train is covering, right? Front end of A to the rear end of B. What is the distance that has been covered by train A relative to B? What has it? It is the length of train B. So length of train B has been covered in 46 seconds. Into the relative speed, they are moving in opposite directions. So 5:3, 5K plus 3K is 8K. That's the first case. It took another 69 seconds for the rear ends of the trains to cross each other. Let me mark the rear ends of the trains. Another 69 seconds means from this particular point. A ka rear end, B ka rear end. Now I'm going to move train number B so that the rear ends cross each other. Okay? Watch this. What is the distance that the train B is covering? It is covering the distance of train A, or the length of train A. Right? Of course, relatively. So therefore, the distance covered B relative to A is distance of train A in 69 seconds. Opposite directions means 8K. Question is asking ratio of length of train A to B. Small a upon small b nikalna hai, just divide. Small a upon small b divide, 8K cancel, 23 se gaya 3 upon 2. The answer is D part for question number 5. What a beautiful question. Little tough and also not tough. This is a standard time and work question and maybe slightly lengthy. Anil A can paint a house in 60 days, B can paint it in 84 days. So I'm going to write down the work as 60A, where A becomes rate of work for Anil, and 84B, rate of work for Bimal. Anil starts painting, and after 10 days, Bimal and Charu join him. So let Anil work for 10 days, that's 10A. And together they complete the painting in 14 more days. So 14 days they are working together, A plus B plus C. Okay, now I'm going to assume the work as LCM of 60 and 84 for ease of calculations, which is 420. When the work done assumed is 420 units, A becomes 7 and B becomes 5. And you substitute these two values in the last remaining equation. A को 7 डालो, 7 into 10 is 70. And B को 5 डालो, 7 plus 5 becomes 12. 14 into 12 plus C is 420. And from here you'll get the value of C. 420, 350, 350, 14 से get 25. 25 minus 12 is 13 units. C is 13. I have the rates of all the three people. Question says that if they are paid a total of 21,000 for the job, then find the share of C. So C will be paid, Charu will be paid according to the work that she has done. What is the work that Charu has done? Charu has done 13 units per day and Charu has worked for 14 days. And this is the work done out of a total of 420 units. So this is the fraction of the work done by Charu, and this fraction of 21,000 is what Charu will get. Solve and you get 9100 as the answer. The answer is B part for this question. Simple. The standard percentage question based upon comprehension and forming a tree. We are going to be able to complete it very quickly. A box has 450 balls, either black, white or black. There being, so I take 450 balls. There being as many metallic white balls as metallic black balls. So metallic and non-metallic ki bhi baat hai, and white and black as well. So I'll categorize them into white and black. And then you have metallic and non-metallic. Okay? So niche we'll make metallic and non-metallic categories. As many metallic white balls as metallic black balls. If 40% of the white balls, I need to assume something for the white balls. Let's say 10W. 10W white balls, remaining become black balls. 450 minus 10W. Okay? If 40% of the white balls are metallic, so that's 4W, and 50% of the black balls are metallic. 50% means half. 450 minus 10W ka half is 225 minus 5W. And originally it said that as many metallic white balls as metallic black balls. So just equate them. Metallic white and black को equate कर दो, you get W as 25. Find the number of non-metallic balls. So non-metallic balls are going to be over here 6W, and over here 225 minus 10W, 5W. So substitute W and get the answer. Non-metallic W is 25, 150 either and 100 either. 150 plus 100 becomes 250 is the right answer for question number 7. Definitely worth doing. This is a percentage question based upon partnerships, and ये थोड़ा सा मुश्किल था, so might have been good to leave it alone. It's a new type of question because generally we only know that profit is calculated, the division of the profit is in the same ratio as the investments, but directly profit related questions have not been seen in CAT, and over here there is a certain profit involved. So ABC jointly invest in a business. They agree to share the overall profit in proportion of their investments. We know that. Anil's share of the investment is 70%. Now comes the tricky part. His share of profit decreases by 420 rupees if the overall profit goes down from 18% to 15%. So the overall profit calculate kaise hoga? What you had to realize or assume was that overall profit percentage is basically where the profit is a percentage of the total investment. ठीक है, ये चीज़ मान के चलनी थी that profit upon investment into 100 is the profit percentage. This part was not that obvious. So let the total investment amount be I. ठीक है, and the profit is basically a percentage of the investment. So now we can quickly calculate for Anil. He was initially getting his share of profit was 18% of I, and then it reduced to 15% of I. ठीक है, जब प्रॉफिट आपका ओवरऑल कम हो गया फ्रॉम 18% ऑफ आई टू 15% ऑफ आई, व्हाट डिड अनिल गेट आउट ऑफ इट? Anil got 70% out of it because his share in the investment was 70%. तो यहाँ पे 70% आया. Profit was 18% of investment, then 15%. तो overall profit जब drop हुआ, Anil got 70% of it and the decrease was 420. Quickly calculate this. 18 minus 15 is 3% of I is 420. Cancel out the terms. You get your investment value as 20,000 rupees. Investment amount is 20,000 rupees. Now we come to Mr. Chintu. Chintu's share of profit increases by 80 rupees if the overall profit goes up from 15% to 17%. So we will take Chintu's share as C%, share in the investment as C%, and profit has gone from 15 to 17. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे C%, 15 की जगह 17 minus 15 is 2% and the gap is now 80 rupees. From here we will be able to find out Chintu ka share in the investment. ठीक है, so you get C ka value over here, zeros are gone, 2 to the 4 se gaya 20 times. C has 20% of the investment. C has 20% of the investment, Anil has 70%, therefore Bobby has 10% of the investment. And 10%, what is the amount invested? 10% of 20,000 is 2,000 rupees. The answer is C part. So this was definitely a challenging question to do in the exam. This is a geometry question with a little bit of algebra included into it, so it becomes therefore a difficult question and possibly for round 2 or maybe worth leaving. Rhombus has area 12, side A, which is 5, and length of the longer diagonal. So let the diagonals be D1 and D2. So half D1, D2 is the area, which is now 12. So D1, D2 or product of the diagonals is now 24. Second is that I can use Pythagoras theorem in one of the small triangles of the rhombus. So D1 by 2 square plus D2 by 2 square becomes equal to 5 square. So D1 square plus D2 square, or the sum of the squares of the diagonals, becomes 100. Now, either you already know that the diagonals of a rhombus are conjugates of each other, that is, if one is irrational, the other is its conjugate. Or if you look at the options over here and then you look at the equations over here, from there you are able to deduce that, okay, when I am getting a quadratic, for example, when you substitute D1 or D2 into this equation, you will get a quadratic, and the roots of that quadratic are definitely going to be conjugates. From either of these two, you should know. So what will happen is that you will not have to solve the whole quadratic from scratch. So now that I'm looking for conjugates whose product is 24, diagonals which are conjugates whose product is 24, I can now take one option at a time. It's equation 1, that's equation 2. For example, let me take up, so the search for conjugates. Okay, chalo, conjugates, A is missing, so let me multiply this by its conjugate. Root 37 minus root 13 upon 2, that becomes 37 minus 13, that's 24 upon 4, that is 6. Whereas according to equation 1, I need 24. So option A is gone. I try option D because it looks a little easy. Multiply by root 13 minus root 12, that's 13 minus 12, that's 1. But I need 24. So now option C is looking viable. So I'll take option number C for my calculations. Root 37 plus root 13 into root 37 minus root 13 is 37 minus 13, that's 24. Equation 1 has now been satisfied. I'll put these values now for the diagonals into equation number 2 and then square them up. Square plus iska square, which gives me 37 plus 13 plus 2 root 37 root 13. And then plus 37 minus 13, sorry, plus 13 minus 2 root 37 root 13, which will get cancelled out. And this gives me 100. When this gives me 100, equation 2 is also satisfied, and therefore option C becomes the right answer. So we did this in a very, very efficient manner, using our prior knowledge of geometry if you had it, or using your basic concepts of quadratic equations. And this was a nice question. The next question is from sequences and series with a little bit of a mix of algebra. I have three positive integers that are in an AP, and if that's x, y, z, and if y minus x, second term minus first term, is greater than 2, and that is the common difference. Second term minus first term is the common difference that is greater than 2. And if xyz is equal to 5 times x plus y plus z, I'm going to now take three terms xyz in an AP. Let the first term be a minus d, second term is a, third term is a plus d. Why have I taken this? I have taken the terms in this form so that x plus y plus z now becomes 3a and it is independent of d. That's why I have taken this. So let's write xyz, product of terms is equal to 5 times sum of terms, that's 3a. So your a gets cancelled over here. So a square minus d square is given as 15. What do you have to calculate? You have to calculate z minus x, the third term minus the first term, that's 2d. The options have given you the values for 2d. So if 2d is 8 according to option A, then d becomes 4. Then 10 ka half 5, 14 ka half 7, 12 ka half 6. And a is an integer, so a square is a perfect square. So let me substitute over here. If d is 4, d square is 16. A square becomes 16 plus 15, that's 31, but not a perfect square. Then 5 square, 25 according to B option. 25 plus 15 is 40. A square is 40, not a perfect square. Third option, 7 square is 49. 49 plus 15 is 64. 64 is a perfect square. Your answer has to be option number C, but you can check D also. 6 square 36 plus 15 is 51. 51 is not a perfect square. And so the answer is C part for question number 10. And that's a nice question. Standard question on geometry. You have a triangle ABC. Points D and E are on sides B and AB and AC. कुछ ratios दिए हुए हैं. AD is to BD is 2 is to 1 इधर and AE is to CE is 2 is to 3 इधर. And if the area of triangle ADE is 8, find ABC. Oh, there's some noise in the background, so let me finish this quickly. So area triangle ADE upon ABC. How do I find out the area? I'm going to use my formula half into product of adjacent sides ADAE into sine of included angle. ठीक है? And नीचे half ABAC into sine of included angle. ठीक है? So the thing over here is that if you don't remember this formula, then you're in trouble. You'll try to derive something, try to get the area somehow, and वहाँ मुश्किल हो जाएगा. So half cancel, sine cancel, 8, and let's put some constants here, p either, q either. So 8 upon area triangle ABC is AD, that's 2p, AE, that's 2q, upon 2p plus p, that's 3p, up into 5q. Obviously p and q cancel, 4 se gaya 2 times 8, and you have your answer. 15 into 2, 30 is the right answer for question number 11.